My name is Tom Longworth, and in this presentation, I hope to convince you to apply for an award from the Emily Longworth New Teachers Fund. And let me use screen share here and show you more about this fund. Hopefully that's working properly. These awards are for teachers doing your practicum in elementary schools, ideally in schools in underprivileged areas or schools that might have less privileged students. The range of eligible projects is very broad, giving you lots of flexibility to create your own unique projects. We are currently supporting awards at UBC and SFU, and in the past we have helped at the Vancouver School of Music and also St. James Music Academy. Emily hated bureaucracy, and your time is tight, so the application is simple. The award is for students, so it's not a bursary for you, the teacher. Your award is the experience you will gain and the joy and satisfaction of observing and working with your students on interesting projects. There is another benefit. It will help you get the teaching position you want. You can make it a topic in your interview and it will be of interest to the interviewers. And there's another benefit. The reward will benefit your entire career, sets you apart, but it also gives you a great grounding in formulating, designing, funding, and implementing projects. Here are some of the projects from the past. Ideally, you will find your own specific project that matches the needs of your school and the students. However, for ideas, you can talk to your faculty advisor or go on the Faculty of Education websites at both SFU and UBC, who have project reports from previous years. While we'd love to see you design your own project, and you will, there's no point in reinventing the wheel. If just make the wheel bigger or different to match your requirements. The program has awarded $213,000 to date. And last year, the average award per student was about $20. Some projects have cost more, but they may have raised some funds in the school or from parents, depending on the circumstances. In early January, we had approved almost $36,000 for 53 projects involving 62 teachers at UBC. The teachers were deep into planning their projects when COVID shut down their schools. So some of those teachers came back and said, may we redesign the project to the new reality of no travel and virtual teaching? And we said, please do. The result, many wonderful projects. Scientific experiments at home to replace going to Science World, tracking the hatching and early life of ducklings, preparing painted puzzles, which were then distributed to locked-in seniors at long-term care homes, art projects, building birdhouses, gardening, seed supplies, seed explorations. The award money was used to purchase and deliver to the children's homes the special supplies and equipment that might be required. For example, a simple magnifying glass to examine seeds. Some teachers discovered there were no rulers in the house and made sure that they were delivered. A teacher who had a project to go to Science World instead acquired Lightbox online books, which provided kid-friendly external links, videos, and text that allowed them to plan, undertake, and document their own science projects. These children likely got even more benefit than they might have had they gone to Science World. Emily did her practicum at East Hastings Elementary, which is in the downtown east side. her class went to Bowen Island, and we saw how she used her own money to ensure that all the students could go on that trip. The children loved her. Some of those children had never seen the ocean before. They had lived, with elderly parents. In your teaching career, every year, you will make a profound difference to some of your students. You will enable them and inspire them to kind of get their nose up over the wall and see their potential, see the potential in life. Emily would have been a wonderful teacher, but she can't do that herself, but you can on her behalf. And that's why we're encouraging you to apply for one of these awards. Indeed, these awards have probably impacted more young students than Emily would have had she been able to have a full teaching career. To this point, 352 teachers have conducted wonderful projects impacting 13,000 young people. Emily went to Queen's University, and her first year was in the UK at Hurst-Monceau, and we dropped her off at the airport and watched her fly over our house and wondered how she would fare and if she would be homesick. Well, we needn't have worried. She loved travel, and it became her lifelong passion. After she finished at Queen's, she went on the JET program in Japan, and some of you might have done that. It's teaching English to young Japanese children in elementary schools. And then my wife and I were living in Hong Kong at the time, so she spent some time with us, and she did some teaching in China and did a lot of travel in Asia, but realized that she wanted to be a real teacher. And so she went back to Vancouver, got into UBC, and finished her BEd in 2006. But before settling down to a job, she and her friend Lauren Kippig, whom she had met at Queen's, and Lauren had gone back to Australia to get her teaching certificate, they decided that they would travel in South America. So they went down the west coast of South America, and they had finished a 3-day hike in Torre del Paine National Park, which is right down in Tierra del Fuego in the very southern tip of Chile. And they went into Punta Arenas to get the bus to their next stop, which was Ushuaia, to see the penguins, but they missed the bus. So they decided to stay overnight in Punta Arenas, and they checked into a hostel. Indeed, they upgraded their stay so they could watch the news on TV. They've been out of touch for 3 or 4 days. Lauren called her mother and told her all about that. And after they watched TV, they settled down to sleep, and during the night there was a fire in the kitchen of the hostel, and Emily and Lauren and 8 other people died, and 8 or 10 people escaped with no injuries. So when the word got out, flowers started to arrive at our house, and funeral flowers are not very happy, so we said, stop the flowers, they'll wither away. If you want to help, we will find a better way. And very quickly we set up this fund at the Vancouver Foundation, and the result has been wonderful. This photograph has interesting history. So Emily and Lauren used to sleep on put their passports and credit cards underneath their mattresses to protect them at night. And it turns out that a couple of days before the fire, they had both renewed their hostel cards. And to do that, they had to go and get those little passport photographs you get in those kiosks where you stick the money in, and out come six photographs. And the only thing we got back after the fire were Emily's passport. She had a Canadian passport and an Irish passport because of I was born there. And tucked inside the charred passport were 5 of these pictures, each of which were charred themselves in different corners. We were able to find a professional photographer who put the five pieces together to form this wonderful photograph of Emily, and it's just like she would have been. So I really hope that you will apply for one of these awards and that you will be successful, and we look forward to funding it. Thank you.